Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome to a new campaign on the channel. Today we're going to be playing, as voted by you all in the community tab, some Hearts of Iron 4 Equestria at War. We're on version 2 Eagles Arsenal of Harmony, version 1.9.1.14. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing a really complicated nation, the Barrad Magocracy here, almost at the very eastern coast of the continent of Griffonia. So we're going to be jumping right into the game, mostly because I want the music to stop playing, because it turns out there are still at least a couple of tracks on the Equestria at War music that are copyrighted, so it ends up demonetizing my videos. But what we're going to be doing, and I'll try to remember to put a link in the description of all the videos, is we're just going to instead be listening to the Dark Trilogy from Adrian von Ziegler, which is like some dark fantasy music, and von Ziegler is usually very reliable, so I think that we will enjoy it. Anyway, I will see you when we are in the game. Except I can't pause the recording, I just realized. Okay, I was good. So we'll just go through the load up. Yeah, let's just jump in. But yeah, I just realized, why would OBS get rid of that? This is the first time I've noticed it, because there was an OBS update a long time ago. I really enjoyed it, where you could click record, but there'd be a pause button next to it, so you could pause and then unpause the recording. It would still be in just one video, so that way if you wanted to have a cut, you wouldn't have to do something in post-production where you're like, recording, stopping the recording, bring the recording back up. You see how long this is taking to load? That's what I'm talking about. It's ironic, it takes so long to load, but then the game itself runs very fast. I guess that's the trade-off. Okay, so the Barrad Magocracy, let me talk about what my goals are for this one, basically. So the Barrad Magocracy, as the name implies, is this magic run nation, in quotation marks. It's kind of like just the Badlands, in southeastern Griffonia, but the goal here is there are 5 persons of interest who run Barrad. I'm going to try to take the Leopold path. So Leopold is this technology-focused griffin. Now, there is a bit of RNG that is at work when you play Barrad. I've done some dry runs of this a couple of times. And so I don't want to say that I've optimized it, but I think I know how to get where I'm trying to go. So the goal here is that we're going to want to put Leopold in charge so we can get the Griffin technology, magical technology thing going. And we're just going to see how far we can go from there. Now, Leopold does not have any expressly expansionistic national focuses, as far as I'm aware. I haven't done the whole tree. I'm trying to be surprised by some of the stuff, but we could always manually justify, and also there might be a chance that other nations will just attack us anyway, so we're essentially just going to see how long we can survive. Now, because there is RNG at work here, there is a chance that maybe I will like load up a save file if I've made a mistake somewhere. Hopefully that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure I've got this figured out, but just as a heads up. And if you guys like this series, let me know by watching it and liking it and stuff. And we might try some of the other Barrad paths in the future, maybe in live stream form or something. We'll see. Anyway, let's just go ahead and read this. So, even in the cursed land of Barrad, even the name of the cursed land of Barrad is enough to strike fear. Whoa, excuse me. Wait, let's turn off this music. Alright, so here we go. Into the Shadow Realm from Adrian von Ziegler. There we go. Even the... oh, sorry, something went in my throat. Even the name of the cursed land of Barrad is enough to strike fear into the hearts of creatures throughout the world. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so I also have the super events on, by the way. But this was not always so. Once part of the kingdom of Vittenland, Barrad was a rich province blessed with abundant minerals and fertile valleys for farmland. Things were peaceful, until a wealthy and prominent pony named Ambrosius, who's our current leader. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Ambrosius took an interest in the art of dark magic, tempted by the quiet voices in his head. He slowly built up his power and influence until he was at last ready to make his move. One day, Barrad became wrapped in fog and storm, impenetrable to sight and body. No pony knowing what transpired for weeks until the mists cleared. As Wittenland's authority had greatly diminished, so that's this kingdom here, they're part of the River Federation, and they might attack us. The self-proclaimed Count Ambrosius had free reign, ruling over the blasted earth, and those ponies unable to flee became trapped as his playthings and subjects of experiments. Thus began the rule of the mad Count of Barrad. Oh my gosh, so I just realized this right now. I'm actually playing Dungeons & Dragons for the first time in my life with some in real life friends, and we're doing Curse of Strahd, and this is the premise of that too. There's a count who separates a section of the world by fog and just now rules over it with his powers. So this is Curse of Strahd. Oh my gosh. What are the odds? Over time, Ambrosius invited like-minded creatures to join him in the pursuit of knowledge, without ethical strings attached. And so ambitious creatures from across the world came to the court of Count Ambrosius, eager to pursue their aims, free from any form of oversight. Eventually, 4 figures rose above the rest, joining with Ambrosius himself to form the Pentarchy, the most potent source of misery for the subjects of Barrad and the entertainment of its count. But something is whispering deep beneath the surface, directing some ponies to do its bidding and driving others to madness. Strange phenomenon and unnatural horrors are everyday sights in Barrad, and it seems the land has a mind of its own. Will the Pentarchy unravel the mystery, or will they be riven asunder by mistrust and treachery? So this just kind of goes into the details of Eastern Graphonia. I'm not going to get into that. Those are the mechanics. Go watch my Introduction to Equestria at War video. I probably should do an update on that video. I think I did that one like 2-3 years ago. Like, fundamentally, the mod is still the same, but when you get more people in all the time. So let's get our national focuses. So our national focuses here are deceptively small. Basically, here's how Barrad works, is you'll have your first national focus, and then there's a straight line down, and once you take the last focus directly under the first one, it'll open up a new tree down here, but you can then no longer take any of the side focuses here. So like gun production here, this will give me 2,000 units of rifles. If I take hunting party before I take gun production, I'll never be able to get those guns again. So it's kind of a balancing act where you want to get through your tree faster so you can get to your leader, but on the other hand, if you slow down, you're going to be able to get some buffs. But it's, what do you want? Do you want the buffs? Do you want to do things faster? So you can get other better things later? I don't know. Now, we need to talk about this decision menu here because there's a lot of interaction that's really important for how we're getting the leader, and I don't want to be explaining what I'm doing all the time because I'm sure you'll get bored of it. So basically, here's how it works. Besides Ambrosia, there are 4 other major members of Barrad Magocracy. There is Silver Star, who is this Queen White Star's brother. So he's a unicorn. There is Leopold Schmeller, who I'll talk about more in a second, but this is who we're trying to become. He's the Griffin. There is Asinti, who is a zebra shaman, so he must have come from the east or the south of us. And then finally, there is Vera Letola, who is a deer. So perhaps she came from a way out here in Olenia or something. I think I did a live stream of her once, but I didn't understand Barrad as well as I do now. Maybe I'll try her again someday. So basically, they all have these things, these resources. So like Vera here, for example, has 500. Resources represent combined power and assets of character. It might be wise to keep some of them for unforeseen events. So the game plan here, because there's going to be a power struggle and only one can arise from it, is because we want Leopold to win. I want to, by the time the final struggle for power happens, I want to have at least 1,200, definitely over 1,000 resources for Leopold. But there are things that you could spend resources on in various ways. So, for example, like for our zebra shaman here, if he has 1,500 resources, we could improve society, so we can actually start to industrialize, because that's very expensive, but it's very good. You could also gain resources by doing raids on other nations. So you can, the simplest way to explain this is, well, you know, it's like raids. They're in base game, but yeah, you raid for the resources, you get the political power and stuff, but also whoever you initiate the raid with is going to determine who gets the resources. So ideally, I would want to initiate raids with Leopold, although I can only do them against the free towns of Gryphus right now, which might be too strong for us to deal with because we are a relatively weak country. So we might lose. But you could spend your resources on stuff besides trying to win. So, for example, Silver Star, the brother unicorn here, we could raise the dead. We could spend 500 as resources and we'll get some pony power. And there's other options that are not available here just yet. Now, we're going to want to build a nuclear reactor. Yes, nukes are magic. You didn't know that? At some point, and so the idea is going to be that I'm going to want to spend the other members of the Pentarchy's resources to build that, while Leopold hoards his for the eventual takeover of power. So that's what's going to be going on. So that way you're not confused when it's like, I'm trying to build the reactor, and then you're going, conquering history games, Leopold has 1,000 resources, use some of his resources to build the reactor faster. No, it's because I'm saving them up. So the whole idea is that the only thing I should be using resources on with Leopold is to prepare raids. Actually, I don't even need to do that with him. Yeah, so no resources will be used by Leopold. That is the game plan. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's start putting some of these together. How about we get some actually breech-loaded firearms, or a concept. So we can't do electromagnetic engineering yet until we have researched the rifles, so I guess let's just do some production for now. Let's take a look actually at some of the details of our nation. So we have the Pentarchy, that's what I was saying, the 5 people who run it. Cruel, dangerous, but powerful, the 5 Magocrats are the undisputed masters of Barrad. Although they occasionally squabble amongst themselves, they happily work together to maintain their stranglehold on the region, but each pursues their own agenda and won't be afraid to betray the others when the time comes. Check the Pentarchy window, Control P for detailed backstory and information on each member. Oh yeah, here we go. So, I guess we'll just do the backstory on Leopold here in a minute. Gosh, it's a lot to read, though. Well, you guys know that's how episode 1 is with Conquering History games. Usually we don't even unpause in episode 1. All right, and then there's the adventurer's threat. Oh yeah, so because we have the Magocracy, we're losing almost a third of political power a day. But our stability and war score is up. Research is quite bad, though. Alright, adventurer's threat. From time to time, brave ponies and griffins from nearby countries band together to try their luck in our lands, driven by a variety of reasons. Sense of duty, greed, boredom. In the end, all they accomplish is ruining a few parties. So that also hurts our political power gain and our stability. So lots of bad stuff happening here. But we'll go ahead and read Leopold's backstory. We're not going to read everybody's. It's the only one we care about. The desire to help others is a noble one, especially when one wants to help an entire continent, if not the world. It was this desire that would define the life of a griffin known as Leopold, the hero of our story. Leopold was born in and would spend his early life in the Herzland, the heart of the empire. So that's over here. And, of course, one of the most technologically and scientifically advanced regions of the world. Perhaps this is why the griffin managed to survive his adolescence, though most agree it would be better if he perished as a chick. For since his very first years, Leopold was a very sickly griffin, with only the best medicine available preserving his life. It was this sickness and weakness that accompanied him his whole life, combined with his genius, that would define Leopold's life goal. Unlike any of the other great minds of Griffonia, even those from universities such as Gamia, he began to devise a less conventional solution for biological issues. He believed that instead of relying on medicine, or even biological modifications, it would be technological enhancement that would allow sickly and weak, it's probably supposed to say the sickly and weak, to survive and reach their potential. This belief was only reinforced when Leopold managed to somewhat alleviate his own maladies with the usage of magical crystal injections and by implanting enchanted machines which assisted his organs. So he's like a trans-Griffonian. Not like trans like with gender. I'm talking about, you know, like transhumanism. If it's all, you know, people who are like, put me in the Matrix. No thank you, incidentally. But these additions also had the effect of greatly increasing Leopold's physical abilities far beyond what he had previously been capable of. This side effect led to even more unorthodox and, to many, unacceptable ideas that the Griffin had to alleviate the endless and ever-increasing number of issues that affected Griffonia. Instead of just using his research to heal the weak and broken, Leopold could use it to protect them from becoming as such in the first place. By creating a force of griffins that, through the usage of magical technology, were pushed beyond the limits of their flesh, the weak could be protected for generations, and the strong could resist the ravages of age and disability. After all, considering the most prosperous and stable realm in the world, Equestria, has survived for 1,000 years through the efforts of the great few, how long might Griffonia last under the care of such heroes, even if they were manufactured? We will build heroes! For the Proto-Men fans. However, to most, even the most wicked of Gamea, the prospect seemed like insanity and perhaps even the worst of heresies, and thus Leopold was forced to flee beyond where the rapidly shrinking power of the Griffonian Empire could hunt him down. In his exile, he would be approached by Ambrosius, who, to Leopold's surprise, applauded such an idea, and more importantly, the potential of the mastermind behind it, inviting him to come to a domain where such ideas could be entertained. Many years have passed since then, and now Leopold has something far beyond the wide-eyed idealist genius he once was. Is something, yeah. While initially reluctant to apply the usual Barrad methodology, the nightmarish brutality of the Republican uprising has convinced the Griffin that the sacrifices are worth the potential result. Furthermore, now Leopold doesn't limit himself to the idea of creating modified heroes, now believing that Griffonia needs its own alicorns. So, for those of you who don't know, if you haven't watched the show, alicorns are basically unicorns and Pegasuses fused together. But they're extremely rare. Like the princesses that run Equestria are alicorns. So it's like Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, Princess Cadence, and then spoilers for I think season 3, I think it was, of My Little Pony. And then Twilight ends up becoming a princess. So there's basically only 4 alicorns in all of Equestria. Extremely rare, but they're very powerful. Alright, anyway. Yeah, demigods who could rule and protect the populace, and believes that through magical and technological modifications, he could become this savior. How inspiring. Let's see. It's like he's going to build himself into a hero. Let's just build some infrastructure for now. Don't have a whole lot here. Yeah, it's a bunch of nobility and stuff. Not much in the way of armies. Yeah, there's everybody but Ambrosia can be a general. Leopold here, he's an engineer. And a griffin, obviously. Okay. Tinker with weapons. No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah. We're actually just gonna click this. I don't want any of Leopold's stuff. I don't want to be selecting any of it ever. Doctrinal advancement. Ooh, we can spend all of our resources right now to get Grand Battle Plan Doctrine boosted up. I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't want to go that path. Summon more demons. We can get some stability off of Sinti. Let's just not spend anything right now. Okay. Anything else I was going to look at? Yeah, so we have a small science base. We're an industrializing society. We have negligible illiteracy, which is actually kind of nice. Most of Griffonia has horrible illiteracy. But I guess it's like, I think that this is trying to show that, yes, there are peasants in the country, but functionally the only people that matter are the 5 at the top. And these are clearly all educated individuals. So that's why there's like no illiteracy. There's negligible poverty. As opposed to, like, if we looked over here, yeah, there's modest illiteracy up here in the kingdom. So Silver Star's already doing a better job than his sister, you know. Yeah, that's so funny. We're playing Curse of Strahd. Curse of Barrad. Or Curse of Ambrosia, I guess. Ambrosius. I don't know if there's any of these things that I want to do here. Looking for Silver Star. Oh, we can get like some political power down here real quick. And we get research bonus for Vera studies, which I think means like her path this way. Yeah, because they each have different paths, basically. Oh, also, members of the Pentarchy can die before the final takeover happens, which is something we might want to happen, but I'm probably not going to actively go for it. So, gun production. We'll probably just do some of the Leopold stuff. Do I have crystals? Yes, I do. We could do the, we can get our magic weapon on. You know what? There's going to be better stuff later, I think. So we're not going to worry about it. And we can always research the magical weapons on our own eventually. Oh gosh, it's going to take years. On second thought, no, yeah, let's do Leopold stuff now. So let's do some gun production. All right, invitation. I'm probably not going to read all of these, because not all of them, because a lot of them are just kind of generally about the Pentarchy. I'll probably just read the Leopold stuff specifically. But yeah, so Ambrosius is basically just inviting people for the party. Yeah, so he's just inviting everybody. We're gonna have a good time. That's what the kind letter. It's like he's just been hanging out in his manor, and he's like, let's have dinner, let's party. This is gonna be interesting to see what happens with everybody else, because like the Casa Free State is gonna have an election, and I think there's at least 2 different of their candidates that could end up attacking us in a war of aggression. To try to, because they're like, ooh, the Barrad, the creatures of Barrad are being oppressed. We have to free them or whatever. Clearly misguided. You know, we treat our peasants well. They know how to read, as we have already established. Okay. Leopold is able to demonstrate his new rifle account by violently destroying his front yard in a flash of magical light. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like impending stuff that's happening on with him. But we're probably not going to spend any resources until we hit the point where I can start working on building a nuclear reactor, or learning the technology at least. Because you see, if we went over here to engineering, we do have atomic research, but it would take over 3,000 days to even have the technology to do a nuclear reactor. So don't worry, there's an in-game way. We have mechanics to speed that up. It's just going to cost us a lot of resources. Restless Night. So, yeah, this is Silver Star stuff. He's being paranoid, whatever. Probably should grab ourselves a military theorist sooner rather than later. Or not a military theorist, but... oh, yeah, we've got our captain here. We're not going to get into him, but he's, like, a character of interest. Actually, hold on a second here. The right claw. He's said to have been subjected to experiments which mutated him into an unstoppable killing machine. I need to talk to my in real life friends about this, because they don't play Equestria at War. They're not Chad enough. Yeah, there's some curses. This is definitely Curse of Straw Advisor. Maybe I need to go into the Equestria at War Discord and find the writers, say if they were inspired by it or not. Maybe I should put Strahd in the thumbnail. No, it'll just confuse people. All right, so the relationship's getting worse between some people. Again, we're not really worried about it. I would like, if possible, to really drain Vera of resources, especially, and actually preferably have her die, because she can like do a thing where she tries to become like a deer goddess. It's a whole thing. Hopefully we just don't want to have to deal with her. She could become very, very powerful. So yeah, the Emperor is dead. It's just the Regency Council now. Let's see who ends up in charge. Alright, gathering the nobles. Let's get moving along here. And we got some peasants. We're up to 11 divisions. Very nice. But I'm seeing, yeah, it says we have divisions that are on position. I'm worried. Yeah, no, they got like Griffonian knights and stuff here, and I think these are the only ones that it's saying that Leopold can do a raid on, which really sucks. Yeah, we would definitely lose that. Not good. Not good at all. Right. Silver Star Veer attention. So yeah, the unicorn and the deer aren't liking each other very much. We're really not going to pay too much attention to that for this one. Alright, gathering the nobles. Gather the other nobles of the realm. Captain Gasienka offered to do the job himself. Penarchy was surprised. They gladly gave him the job. Off to get this mess together. Deletes noble pony group template. Remove all units created from this template. And create a Barradian unit. And Oleander will become a general. So we just lost a bunch of our forces anyway. But yeah, we have this new noble battalion. Alright, hunting party. Let's make sure there's nothing else I want to do. Yeah, Asienti, resources, no. That 100 political power is kind of alright, but no. We have armed our hunters with weapons and told them the plan. We have thrown a great pre-hunt feast to inspire allies. Now it's time to find all the game lurking in our woods. Yeah, I'm not going to get that political power because the sooner that we can get rid of the pentarchy stuff, the sooner we can take care of other things. Alright, let's try to get some army experience. We're not going to need a whole lot, I think. We might go with... Enemy air support reduced. Oh, concealment's very expensive. We just might go with Herowald for the that army experience buff. Or Siegewald. Oh, Army Reformer is really good. 5th of a point a day. Actually, no. I think the division attack will be more important. Let's do that so we can start ticking that up, and then we'll later start grabbing a lot of these here. I got padded for a second because I saw Magocracy, but no. Here's the Fir Tree Magocracy under Shine Spark, which I think I played once. Long time ago. Let's see. Yeah, I want to get those magical rifles going. Queue up some of these other things. Look at these muzzle-looking guns. They're so weird. Mad Count. Insanity had its advantages. Who knew supersizing a toy factory could pay off? Oh, so we got the Count ended up building a new civilian factory for us. Nice. Oh, they went with new Hetmanate. So we got fascist Cossacks over there. Alright. Not something you see every day. Let's see, yeah, it's risky. Longsword Civil War is breaking out. Yeah, there's no way we would win that. Of course, we could maybe just raid somewhere else and then just spend those resources. Like, you know, raiding is just good to do. The Feast. Time to poach the game and a grand hunt to glory. Silver Star asked to be excused. Truly excellent feast. So, day after the feast, Count rallied the hunters, distributed high-grade weapons produced in Leopold's forge, told them about the game they were to find. With all of the Pentarchy members arriving in the space of a few hours, the hunting party, numbering about 100 members, set out from Ambrosius's manor. They began to trek into the woods, killing the lone adventurers and small bands they found, as well as a few unfortunate peasants. They went on for hours, killing over a dozen ponies and griffins in the woods and putting their bodies in a wagon that Ascenti ordered to be dragged along with the party. Even Silver Star, in spite of his nervous disposition, was able to kill a few adventurers, for which he was lauded by his allies, especially Ambrosius. The party had begun to turn back when they heard a noise off to the side. The Pentarchy, along with a few dozen nobles, went off to find out what the cause of it was, while the others guarded the bounty. When the expedition came to the source, they found a well-sized band of adventurers preparing to execute a small number of oddly dressed ponies. The expedition quickly cut down the adventurers and captured the rogue ponies. They returned to the main party and continued to the matter. What a great bounty indeed. So we're no longer getting adventurers threats, so we're going to get more political power and stability off of this. Yeah. Uh, After sorting out their bounty and having yet another feast, most of the nobles retired to their own estates and the peasants were set free. The Pentarchy quickly assembled to address the elephant in the room, the captured ponies. Ascenti pleaded for them to be given to him, to which Avira responded, "Don't you have enough, Doctor?" Ambrosius quickly silenced them before stating his own plan.
It is clear that we know very little about these strange ponies. I am dying to know more about them. I propose that we interrogate them to find out who or even what they are.
The other Pentarchy members nodded in agreement. The ponies were briefly interrogated before they offered to show the magistrates their meeting place. The ponies showed the Pentarchy into a cave containing all sorts of mysterious inscriptions. It was rightfully assumed that these were members of some sort of ancient cult. The last thing the cultists presented was a series of runes that looked like instructions for some kind of device. The type of device was completely beyond the Pentarchy members, and even the cultists had little knowledge of it. Sated with this knowledge, the Pentarchy split up, with Silver Star racing back to his tower, Ascenti and Vera engaging in a lengthy argument, Leopold trying to figure out how the device worked, and Ambrosius drinking a few pints of ale before passing out on his throne. How interesting. And on that note, we will go into the meeting of 4. And in the episode, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games. I hope you're excited for this series. It's going to get very interesting, especially if you're in your like dark fantasy horror trope sort of stuff, gothic. I think you're going to like it. Please be sure to subscribe so you'll know when the video goes up. And I'll see you next time. Bye.